They are world famous rock pancakes. At least they're world famous in my head. I got two fatties sitting on the grill. Bang, bang. I got a plate full of them. Bang.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is easily one of the most important people in media at the minute, starting off probably from his wrestling career in WWE. And in that department, again, was regarded as one of the best people in wrestling. I do have to say, though, obviously, I'm not too sure if all the fights were genuine. I mean, a lot of people say that WWE, SmackDown, Raw, the fights are kind of staged. I don't know. I mean, you could say they are because Logan Paul has done it recently. And we all know that Logan Paul likes to play it up a little bit. So maybe instead of it all being choreographed and staged, my personal theory is that they were all holograms. But in the recent decades, The Rock has been pushing his acting career. He is a well-known Shakespearean actor. The thing is, if you look far enough back, like The Rock, he's been acting for ages. For example, the Mummy trilogy. I'm not talking about the Mummy film with Tom Cruise that was actually so bad it killed the entire universe in a single film. I'm talking about the OGs, the early noughties Mummy films with Brendan Fraser as the lead. In one of these films, The Mummy Returns, which is like, I think, a sequel to the original, you had The Rock play the main bad guy, the Scorpion King, in that film. And oh my God, having The Rock and Brendan Fraser in the same room. I mean, it wasn't the same room. I mean, Brendan Fraser was there, but The Rock was just abhorrently looking CGI. Like, honestly, you've probably seen this clip before of just how terrible the CGI looks for The Rock here. It doesn't look good, but technically it was a collab. Now, he kind of was the main villain in that film, kind of not, but that cameo was so good. They gave him his own film, The Scorpion King, which was a sequel the next year. And that film was so good that they made 3 more Scorpion King films, none of them with The Rock in it. So to say he had a great start to his career is definitely an understatement. I'm only joking, of course. It's impossible to argue that The Rock doesn't have an incredibly successful acting career, financially at least. Obviously, because of that, you'll never see him in more niche films, like, for example, anything that A24 produce, the company that is well known for producing films where nothing happens until the last 5 minutes. But you will see him in incredibly commercial, bombastic films. For example, the Fast and Furious franchise, Skyscraper, Rampage, anything with big explosions, he's probably in it doing some kind of bicep flex halfway through. All of his films that he's been in put together, they have grossed over $10 billion. So without doubt, he is one of the most paid people in Hollywood. Now, what The Rock is still trying to do to this day, like most rich people, is to make more money, diversify their portfolio, expand their production line. The Rock's Instagram is not a normal Instagram. You go on someone's Instagram page, it might be, you know, a little selfie on the beach, you know, a wedding, something like that. The Rock, it is just paid product after paid product. You have so many things he shills on there. You've got his tequila, his ice cream brand, and also his energy drinks. To be fair, I'm not being completely honest. He does have some posts that aren't sponsored. For example, him eating a cheap meal, which could feed several starving families. But one thing, The Rock, this seemingly unstoppable, roided billionaire, has not done yet. He has not done what all mid-actors want to do, and that is to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Rock wanted to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe up there with Chris Hemsworth, the Australian guy that put on a fat suit because he didn't actually want to put any effort in. They said no. So instead, he joined the DC Universe. Now, The Rock was given a role that he had always dreamed of. For 15 years, he wanted to play this role, and that is the superhero, anti-hero, Black Adam. The film was made, put out there, and like pretty much every single superhero film, apart from the select few, it was all right. It was like a 60%. Yeah, everyone kind of forgot about it. The one thing I will give the film, the CGI was decent. It wasn't anything amazing, but my expectations on CGI have been lowered so much because of Disney Plus shows. So, you know what? It was refreshing. Also, it's kind of cheating because it has Pierce Brosnan in it, and he was like one of my... He's basically my James Bond growing up. Pierce Brosnan is my favorite actor, and I will not go into any detail why. I'm not going to talk about it. There's a popular meme going around. He's a good actor, all right? Watch his stuff. Now, Black Adam made $400 million off a $200 million budget. That seems good, right? They doubled their budget. They're in the green. Unfortunately, that doesn't include advertising costs, marketing, distribution, which was probably the same, if not more, than the actual budget of the film itself. So technically, it was a major flop. It actually flopped so quickly that they rushed to put it onto video on service demands like HBO. Now, like I said earlier, you know, the general public and me, we kind of thought, yeah, the film was all right. The critics hated this film. They despised it. I think on Metacritic right now, it's sat on like a 41 or something. And that seemed to be the end of it. You know, the film came out, General public didn't really see it. They thought it was mid. Critics hated it. It is what it is, you know? Like, let's see what comes next. But there was something dark forming, a huge shadow over the continent of North America, the size of Dwayne Johnson's roid-filled biceps. It first started with some shocking news. The Rock unfollowed the Black Adam Instagram account and the Warner Brothers Discovery account. Truly very shocking. My personal belief at the time for the unfollowing was the fact that Dwayne Johnson probably DM'd them saying, hey, can we have a scene where, you know, Black Adam drinks some of his Zao energy drink? And they said no, so we unfollowed them. But then it all came to a head with this bombshell on Twitter, something so dramatic that he included emojis in his response and ended with his signature. I don't know why he put his signature, honestly, because it's like, you're posting it on your Twitter account. What, are you going to post it without the signature and then be like, I was hacked, guys. Anyway, drink more Zao. The brief summary is that the DCU is having a major overhaul with James Gunn being invited as the, you know, co-CEO. So essentially, he's not going to be directing films, but he's going to be the overall showrunner for every upcoming DC film. Basically, apart from a few films like Batman, DC have realized they can't compete with Marvel, so they're doing what Saints Row did with GTA. They're becoming quirky because they know that they can't compete with the actual competition. If you don't know who James Gunn is, he made early 2000s films like Slither, but more recently, you probably know him from doing the Guardians of the Galaxy film franchise, which is good, and also he did the Suicide Squad, which is good. Not the original. You know that TikTok sound where he goes like, They got that from Jared Leto. Basically, apparently behind the scenes, James Gunn promised, you know, Dwayne a sequel to Black Adam, and then kind of went, I don't think I will, and then retracted the offer. But apparently Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, he might have a role later, much later in the DCU. He's basically not being involved in Chapter 1 at all, and that's going to be a lot of films. So we're not getting a Black Adam 2, which frankly is devastating. The one thing I love about this whole post he made, he ends it by going, what a hell of a month. Now we all need some Terramana. By the way, if you don't know, Terramana is his own brand of tequila that he shills constantly. Even here, during this terrible news that there won't be a Black Adam 2, he's turning it into a marketing shill. At this point, the only person I know that is worse at shilling a product is Logan Paul. If Logan Paul, I'm convinced, if Logan Paul died, right, he'd be lowered into a casket, into the ground, and he would have a bottle of Prime in each hand. And then KSI, in memory, would probably light a candle and then release a new flavor of Prime, and it'd be called like Earth Green or something, and just taste of soil. Basically, James Gunn is making his own DC universe and has kind of pushed Dwayne Johnson to the side for a little bit. Gunn even himself quote tweeted saying, you know, see you in the next one. Yeah, see you in about 10 years, buddy. In the meantime, have all that Zao energy drink and tequila and ice cream, whatever you shill on your Insta, just enjoy that, buddy. You've got enough money. One thing I love about this story is we expected this huge climactic finale where you had Black Adam against like Superman, like Henry Cavill playing Superman, but instead his final confrontation was a bunch of suits in a board meeting. Also, because of Gunn's takeover, there's been other cancellations, like for example Wonder Woman 3, which is truly devastating for me, especially after I've seen none of the previous films. Also, Henry Cavill, the one I just mentioned who played Superman, the one who everyone on Reddit goes, he is literally me because he's ripped and he built his own PC, he's not playing Superman anymore apparently. He's being replaced by a much younger version because James Gunn wants to explore the younger years of Superman. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if Henry Cavill got replaced with Mr. Beast, because if he got into Fortnite, he can get into anything. So yeah, I am massively disappointed for The Rock. He's clearly struggling for money. Come on, he's wanted to do this for 15 years. Let him do it, James. Let him do it. Let him do it.